begin today with the gift of freedom, mostly from years' worth of contrived legal cases against President Trump. As the Daily Wire explains in this headline, Trump's sentencing in hush money case indefinitely adjourned. Let's bring in our first guest, Congressman Andrew Clyde of Georgia. Congressman, this news, it's getting to, we got numb to the bad news on all of the legal cases, but now we're almost getting used to the good news coming in for President Trump and Republicans in Congress.
Well, thank you. It's great to be with you all this morning. I'll tell you, every one of these cases, they're lawfare, and they need to be completely dismissed. The left has proven that this was just a sham, and all they really wanted to do was to prevent President Trump from being reelected as our 47th president. And he has had victory over all of this. He has fought till the very end, and he has absolutely taken the victory lap here. And I'll tell you that the American people are finished with this. They knew it was lawfare to begin with, and President Trump deserves to be completely exonerated, all of them, everyone.
No doubt about that, Congressman. Also, we got some news about the latest Trump cabinet appoints. Seems like we're getting news every day, on the hour, every hour. They include Linda McMahon for Secretary of Education. You have Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce. And then Dr. Oz. So this is like turning into The Apprentice. Dr. Oz to run the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. But the big focus remains on the Matt Gaetz appointment, Congressman, for Attorney General. Axios reporting this morning that, quote, Trump personally squeezes senators. That was what they said, squeezes senators on Matt Gaetz. And he's making phone calls up there. This afternoon, the House Ethics Committee, as you know, is going to meet to discuss, possibly decide, whether the report looking into those alleged sexual misconduct allegations against Gaetz will be released. They just need one Republican to side with the Democrats on this committee for it to be released. What do you think? You think that's going to happen?
Well, I think for them to release this report, this interim report, would be absolutely unethical for the committee to do that. Matt Gaetz is no longer a member of Congress. The Ethics Committee has no authority whatsoever over Matt Gaetz. For them to release this report would be unethical. It would be, I think, a violation of their charter. And therefore, I think that the decision from all Republicans should be absolutely no. They should not release this report.
Just
Matt Gaetz,
a quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, please. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
Matt Gaetz is a phenomenal pick by President Trump. The president deserves to have the cabinet that he chooses, and I think Matt Gaetz will do an amazing job to eliminate the weaponization in the Department of Justice and bring the Department of Justice back to being non-political whatsoever and to focus on the true mission, and that is justice for the American people.
What real quick as a follow-up, what about full transparency, the argument that, you know what, let the senators see it. If they've got to advise and consent, they need to see it.
Let me tell you something. If the Biden Department of Justice did not prosecute Matt Gaetz, and believe me, they're not a Department of Justice right now that's in favor of Matt Gaetz. If they chose not to prosecute him because there was no evidence there, then the Ethics Committee doesn't need to be releasing basically innuendo and false claims.
All right, Congressman, fair point there. I want to take you to a story that's playing out in your own backyard, and it has to do with that illegal immigrant who's accused of killing Laken Riley, the Georgia nursing student. One of the latest developments that came out in court yesterday, and it's kind of highlighted in this People magazine article, says basically wife of Laken Riley murder suspect pleaded for answers during jail call. What happened with the girl? This is a case that obviously you are aware of. I would imagine you're following it since it's happening in your home state. Many interested here in the country are following it because it really speaks to the illegal immigration crisis in this country. But it strikes me that the mainstream media is turning somewhat of a deaf ear to this. What do you make of all of that?
Well, it's not just in my home state. It's my hometown of Athens. All right. This is a very personal issue to me. The mainstream media has disregarded their main responsibility, and that is to report on the truth here. They have been covering up on this case. They do not want the Laken Riley's name to be heard across our country, but we want that to happen because The American people deserve justice. The family deserves justice. And I'll tell you, we never want to ever see this happen again. But we have. You know, Mimi Rodriguez Ramirez in my district in Habersham County was murdered just a few weeks ago. Another American citizen murdered by an illegal alien. This has to stop. And President Trump will stop it, will prevent other families from going through this terrible ordeal by deporting every solitary criminal illegal alien.
Congressman, there's some confusion out there about one of the appointments with Linda McMahon, who I think is a great appointment for the Department of Education. But President Trump has said he wants to eliminate the Department of Education. So with Linda McMahon there, and actually my husband even had a conversation with her, he was telling me just this week, where he said, so wait, would you then be appointed to eliminate the department that you're appointed to? And she kind of giggled. Pretty much, that's the situation. But what will it take to eliminate some of these departments? Is there a congressional portion of this? Explain to us what that's going to take, because I know it's not as easy as just an executive order.
Well, President Trump wants to follow the Constitution, and the Department of Education is not a constitutional department. The federal government has no authority when it comes to education. If you look into Article 1, you will not see the word education there at all. So that is reserved, that is an authority reserved unto the states and to the people. So, you know, President Trump is 100% correct. The Department of Education needs to be gone. It needs to be eliminated. That is not a federal responsibility. If we're going to stay within the confines of the Constitution, which, you know, we swore an oath to do, then we need to eliminate those agencies within the federal government that authority truly resides with the states and not with the federal government. So I'm all in eliminating the federal Department of Education.
What will that take?
What will it take?
Yes.
A lot of courage and a lot of will by members of Congress to actually do the right thing and to follow the Constitution, which, you know, has been a problem over the last number of decades, and it needs to happen. We need to figure out the way to do it and do it properly, to downsize it, bring it down until it's no longer there, and we need to send that money then to the states.
All right,
Congressman, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Congressman.